All right. So welcome everybody. Uh I think we're starting a few minutes late, but apologies about that. So that name is Adetola, and I'm really excited to have you guys here this afternoon. And as you know, all right, this is that um time of the week where we get to lay out our plans for the trading week, examine what are the what are the pros and cons, which commodities are we focusing on, and everything regarding how to make our trading week a much more profitable one. All right. So, having said that, all right, I want you guys to know that sessions like this are not sessions that you attend, without an interest in learning. All right. So don't just get overwhelmed about, oh, just give me the setup, let me work out. All right. Also endeavor, all right, please and please and please endeavor to come to sessions like this with an intent to learn. All right, with an intent to learn, because it's one of the ways by which you can improve to a large extent your trading accuracy or your trading outcome. All right. So having said that, you guys know how we do on these sessions. All right. We start with the majors. Then from the majors we go over to the minors. All right, and the crosses. All right. Hold on. Let me just close a few of these tabs so that we can have some serenity on the chart. Last week was quite eventful for me. Had some really amazing trades, but unfortunately, there were certain particular trades that I would have really, really loved, all right, to be able to get in on, but I was unable to get into some of those trades, and a few of those trades ended up yielding 1:20, 1:32. All right, some fantastic risk to reward ratios, basically. But we're here to talk about what's ahead, all right? What's the future holding for us this week? So, first of all, we'll start with Euro USD. And as you guys know, we'll start from the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, we try to establish our pivots. All right, I want to believe that we can all see that, yes, this is a clear, very clear pivot region. All right, tested here, tested here, tested here, tested here, tested here, here, and here. All right, so now that we have those as our resistance pivot regions, all right, I think we can consider, all right, that's been broken, or at least it seems to have been broken. All right, then I think we can consider this, yes, as our target region. All right, then we switch to the candlesticks. All right, and then we can go to the 4 hours time frame and see what price looks like here. So you can see that from within the pivot region on the daily time frame, where is where we had this supply zone. All right, we had this rally based drop. All right, we had a rally based drop supply zone here on the daily time frame. All right, which was what initiated that bearish move. All right, that bearish impulse. And now we're saying that we have a pivot zone here once again. All right, which means that we could have this as our initial target. All right, for Euro USD, which means that we may get to see price slip this way. All right, drop a bit deeper and then bounce. All right, and one of the reasons why I think that that could play out is the fact that we have the 100-day moving average, which could act as a support or as an area of support. All right, we also have the 76% of the Fibonacci, all right, of the Fibonacci retracement, which could also be considered as a support, all right, as an area of support. Then we also have this trend line support, which by all means I believe will get swept as as a tool for liquidity, as well as this induced low. All right, this inducement. All right, so let me remove the notches so you can see clearly. All right, so price most likely takes out this low. All right, takes out that low as an inducement. All right, comes all the way here to fill up the remnant of the fair value gap before diving into this demand zone and then bouncing back up. All right, so if you're looking to trade Euro USD during the course of the week, I think that this is one of the sentiments that you want to look out for. All right, a lot of people are going to be looking to buy Euro USD from from here. Right, a lot of people are going to be saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to buy Euro USD from here. There's a demand zone here. There's a trend line here. Let's buy." But like I tell my students, or like I tell people that I've taught in the last couple of years, wherever you see a fair value gap, all right, always anticipate or always expect that price is going to make moves to try to fill it up. All right, price is going to try its best, all right, its possible best to fill up that fair value gap, and that's why you as a person need to be prepared, all right, to deal with price coming that way. All right, you need to be prepared. I know that, oh, there's a demand zone here. It looks like an SBR, all right. We have a sweep, the break, the retest, but I have reason to believe, all right, that this low is going to get broken. At least I think I do. All right. I think I do have reason to see that low get broken. And what is that major reason? That major reason is simply the fact that there's a fair value gap here, and then here we're seeing a consolidation of price. Right, we're seeing price consolidate, meaning that price has gotten to that demand zone, but price is hesitating to react from that demand zone. All right, price is having maybe some cold feet or whatever you want to call it. All right, sorry, I think I need to take a sip of water. All right, just hold on. Just hold on, hold on, hold on. All right, so like I was saying, all right, when it comes to Euro USD, all right, I personally know that the overall sentiment is bullish, all right, but that sentiment is not expected to just take root all of a sudden. All right, I believe that it's going to have to first of all take out a lot of people who are expecting it to buy. All right, and that's the purpose of inducements and liquidity grabs. All right, so we get a sweep, then price comes into the demand zone, which overlaps with the pivot on the daily time frame, and then we can get that buy. All right, does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense, please. All right, so that is for Euro USD. So now we go over to GBP USD, and GBP USD, you guys should already know that GU and EU are most times birds of a feather. All right, and as the Yoruba people would say, birds of a feather, laba laba together. All right, so that is the daily time frame pivot zone, as you can see on my chart right now. Okay, so we have the daily time frame pivot zone. What we do next is to switch over to the candlesticks. All right, and go to the 4 hours time frame and check, do we have any valid demand region close to this? All right, do we have any demand zones around here? I might even do on the 1 hour time frame. All right, and I think that I'm seeing this. All right, but this fair value gap behind it, all right, tells me that price may also consider coming here. All right, price might also consider coming here, which is going to be the bottom of the pivot zone. All right, so coming back to the 4 hours time frame, you can see that our first entry or our first expected region is around the 76%, whereas the second one is around the 88%. All right, so let's remove the Fibonacci once again. The first entry has the 100 100 period moving average as a confluence, whereas the other one has the 200 moving average, the 200 period moving average as its confluence. All right. So if you check this, you'll see that this is the fair value gap that I talked about. All right. This is the fair value gap that I talked about. Uh, Price might want to come fill that fair value gap. All right. But nonetheless, we're seeing this, the likelihood of this being taken out as an area of inducement. Right. As a sell side liquidity so that price can do this. All right. That's very, very plausible. All right. I think that that could definitely happen. All right. Brian Bright, it's good to hear from you. Nandom, it's good to see you. Sadiq Jola Osho, it's good to see you. Okay. So this is GU. All right. So the expectation is that we get some bearish momentum before price resumes or likely resumes the bullish impulse, all right, or the bullish direction. So, like I said, some of the trades that I had expectations for last week actually left me behind. One of which was AUD USD. You can see this would have been my entry, and this would have done over 130 pips. All right, but I was unable to get an entry on this because price never triggered my pending orders. Right, and the reason why I particularly trade with pending orders is because I have a very, very tight schedule. All right, so trading with pending orders helps me to avoid missing out on trades. All right. Sometimes I set alerts, but if my PCs are not on, I definitely will not get notified. All right. So that's why I prefer to just set the pending orders and then just run with it. All right. But enough of talks. Let's go back to AUD USD. Let's clear that. Resume on a clean slate. Where are our daily time frame pivots? I think this has virtually everything that a pivot might need. And then this as well. Right. Touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here, touch there, touch there, touch there, touch, and possibly another touch. Right. So we'll go to fast time frame, candlestick chart. And yes, this is where the work lies. So I think I'm seeing my first demand zone here. Right inside of that pivot zone. And I know somebody's saying, oh, but sir, there's an SBR pattern here. Why are you not considering the sweep break retest pattern? All right. Which, of course, in some quarters, you will hear this being described as a QMR, which is short for the Quasimodo reversal. All right, but yeah, I prefer to just call it a sweep, a break, and then the retest. All right, so I know somebody's probably saying, oh, but sir, can't you see there's a sweep? All right, this sweep here, then the break, then this should be the retest, and I think that AUD USD should just buy all the way from here. If that is the case, then I would want to say that um, if you look closely, you would see that there's a much slimmer SBR pattern here. Right, the sweep, the break, then this would be the retest. All right, and if that plays out, it will give price enough room to take out liquidity from this low. All right, it will give price enough room to take out liquidity from that low. All right, such that price then comes into this before bouncing. You guys get it now? Eric Owa. To be honest, I would love to teach you guys a lot of stuff. All right. To be very honest, I sincerely even anticipated. I look forward to being able to teach you guys stuff. All right. But the main problem has been putting together, um, the kind of times that we can have such sessions. All right. So Mondays like this are the only avenue that I have to be able to teach you guys a couple of things because nobody's coming to say, oh, buy or sell gold. All right. So that's why. So um, bear with me. All right. Mondays like this, we'll get to have time to just talk about some of these things that I do or that you guys see me do. All right. And then we'll talk about how you can also replicate them to be able to make some profits for yourself. All right. Give me a minute. I need to take a sip of water. All right. So that's AUD USD. All right. Then let's go to the newbie's favorite. And the reason why I'm saying that gold is the newbie's favorite is because gold is one of the commodities that the the contemporary traders, the hedge funds and all. Gold is one of the commodities that they use to teach newbies, all right, that life is a pot of shawarma. All right. I know you may not understand what it means to say life is a pot of shawarma, but permit me to explain. You know, in a pot of shawarma, all right, you have the fillings, you have the bread, you have all of this stuff, all right. But most likely, if you try to take one of them or eat one of them alone, you definitely would not get the shawarma vibe, all right. So you need to eat everything together, the good, the sour, because most times the cream is actually sour on its own, all right. But when you bring everything together, that's what brings out the beauty. So life is a pot of shawarma is a lesson that is best learned from trading. All right. You eat the good, the lovely, the sour, and at the end of the day, you come out bouncing and rejoicing. All right. So that's why some wounds last longer than others. Right. Wounds that you receive from gold, I think they last longer because sometimes they even become mental. All right. Wounds that are sustained from trading gold. But that's why a lot of people love it all the same. People love toxic relationships and all of that. But who am I to judge? All right, so this is gold. All right, on the daily time frame, looking amazing. We're approaching the 50 period moving average, the 50-day moving average. But let's see what the pivot zones are looking like. All right, so off the top of my head, I think this would be a very cool zone, and then this this would be a cool zone. All right, and I think we could include this. All right, so touch, 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 touch. Right, so let's go to the candlestick chart, 4 hours time frame. Where are this is our demand zone. All right, so that's our demand zone on Lord Richie. Unfortunately, I don't think we're allowed to have such a community. All right, having a WhatsApp group is not it. All right, it's not part of the deal. Albeit we have a Telegram channel that is free. All right, we have a ton of fantastic, amazing resources on that Telegram channel. So you definitely should join. All right, join the FBS Analytics Telegram channel. The link is right below this video. All right, in the description, in the caption, so you can do that. Biru, I believe I'm guessing that you just joined. All right, because we already talked about Euro USD. Euro USD was actually the first commodity we talked about today. All right, so let's go back to gold. This is my demand zone. Let's see what the Fibonacci's look like. Oh, yes, we have 76, we have 88. So I think we're working with the 88. All right, we're working with level 88 here. All right, we're working with level 88. Let me remove the Fibonacci. So you can see that we also have a sweet SBR pattern here. All right, so this would be the retest. All right, coming into the 200 period moving average. All right, as well as the trend line support, and then we can you guys see that now. So that is gold. All right, we get the sweep. We've gotten the sweep. All right, we've gotten the break. Now we're waiting for the retest so that we can take an entry. You guys get it now. So that is for XAU USD, which is gold. All right. Then we're going to go to some of the requests that you guys have made. I think I've seen USD card and I've seen NZD card. All right. So let's start with NZD card. All right. Let's do USD card first. We'll come back to NZD card. All right. So this is USD card. This is the 1 hour time frame. We'll go to the daily time frame. All right. Let's check out the pivots or the pivot. All right. So I think I'm tempted to work with this. Yes, I think I'm tempted to work with that. The 4 hours time frame. Let's go to the candlesticks. And yes, this is looking quite nice because as you can see, we've had a sweep of liquidity here, all right, from this induced high. All right, so we're gonna see buy side liquidity get taken, all right? Yes, yes, yes. So the expectation is that price comes into this supply zone, all right, this huge, huge supply zone. All right, we're most likely going to get to see another SBR pattern on the lower time frames if you pay enough attention. All right, and if you're able to break this down um, using multiple time frame analysis or multi time frame analysis properly, all right, you should be able to find an SBR pattern on the lower time frames. All right, which trust me is a remarkable thing. So if you're able to find that, it helps you slim down your entry, all right, or the risk from your entry. So USD card, that is my sentiment. All right, I think we also have like a sweep, break, retest thing going on. Yeah, so we have a sweep, break, retest. So this, yes, that's the supply zone that we're working with. Let me mark that out. All right, so that is my expectation. USD card, we got to see the breakdown. All right. So let's see NZD card. All right, NZD card. Okay, pivot zones. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, candlesticks. All right, so let's go to the 4 hours time frame. Now on the 4 hours time frame, you see something interesting. This pivot zone aligns perfectly with the fair value gap. All right. Meaning that what we're seeing right now is most likely an intent from price to fill up the fair value gap. All right. Which means that from this pivot zone we could get an entry. All right, or from this line. All right, but let me delete the line. All right, so it doesn't become confusing. We can work out with the Fibonacci. This is a Fibonacci retracement tool nonetheless. All right, so we're seeing that the entries laid out for us. We have one around here. All right, and then we have the other one around here. All right, which is the 76 and 88%. So for me, I think NZD card is still going to, dive a bit lower. All right, Mondays are generally not my best days to trade. So all I just do is lay out my plans for the trading week on Mondays. All right. So nothing serious is going on here on NZD card at the moment, other than the fact that we're waiting for price to to drop a bit lower into the pivot zone, possibly test the 76% of the Fibonacci, and then from there we can start to postulate what price may likely do next. All right, so that is for NZD card, a drop and then a continuation. But do note that there's a trend line resistance here. All right, there's a trend line resistance here, which means that there's a likelihood. Let me see. Let me see if it's just a trend line or a channel. All right, I think it's a channel. All right, so there's a likelihood of price coming all the way down here before we get that bounce. Right, you can see that that's the channel right there. So you might want to just picture that at the back of your mind. The price is going to retest the trend line support of that channel, all right, which overlaps with the daily time frame pivot zone, which overlaps with the 76% of the Fibonacci retracement, which also then overlaps with our fair value gap. All right, so that I think is going to give us some degree of peace of mind, all right, compared to just trying to chase around shadows. All right, so then we're going to look at US 30. All right, so this is US 30. And like I've told you guys a couple of times, I really do not enjoy working with commodities that have reached their all-time highs, or that have created a new all-time high. But let's see what we have here. This is the weekly time frame. This was the last major move. Right. This was 100. This was 61.8. This is 161.9. So coming to the daily time frame, let's see how we're looking. Yes, this OI was cleared. This is the nearest demand zone. Right, that's the nearest area of demand. Daily time frame of US 30. Right, that's our trend line support. XAUUSD is a fake out. Well, I didn't mention anything about a breakout or a fake out. And if you trust your analysis, please work with your analysis. It's usually safer. All right, it's a lot safer. It helps me get my head in the game. So if your analysis is what you love, all right, if you trust your analysis, work with it. I'm not asking you to trust my analysis. I'm only sharing my opinion about what the price action is looking like. All right, so um, we're not trying to get you to do anything that you normally would not do. All right, so if you normally would not buy gold right now, please don't buy. And if you normally would not, trade any of the commodities that I'm talking about right now, then please do not hesitate to, stay away from them. All right, because trading is a very emotional game. All right, and to a large extent, I've seen people, get frustrated because they followed another person's opinion, not theirs. All right, so Lecky, I'm talking to you. So please, if my, uh, if my analysis does not make sense to you, then please note you're under no obligation to, to ride with it. All right, so that is that. So let's go to US 30. This is our demand zone. 4 hours time frame. Let me see if we can plot. Nah, let me still work with the daily time frame. All right, beautiful. Thanks, Lecky. Your name sounds like an area in Nigeria. Um, like a very very lovely area in Nigeria. All right, mostly the phase two. All right, so I think that demand zone on the daily time frame is currently between 61 and 70%. All right, so we're going to work with that and just see how the market reacts from that zone. All right, so let's go to what's that? Euro NZD. All right, Andre Nesbitt, it's good to see and hear from you again. I think it's been a while. Okay, this is good, 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 good. The pivot zones. You don't mind me. I'm simply beatboxing because there are days when Forex makes you sad and you just have to have something else to fall back on. So I'm currently planning to, start a YouTube, a TikTok channel, all right, where I can unveil my other talents, beatboxing, drumming, sit down comedy, all right, and a whole lot of other things. So, for adventure, maybe you find out that, oh, I'm online and I'm doing tap, 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 tap. Please don't get disappointed at me, all right? I'm not doing it for the money, trust me, all right? I may not trust myself, but you trust me. Um, but yeah, don't get disappointed and say, oh, come on, I thought it was a profitable Forex trader. Of course, but sometimes Forex can be very boring, right? And I have all of these other talents that I think that you guys should not miss out on, all right? Yeah, so back to serious business where we get to make our money. Um, Candlestick chart, Euro NZD, that's a pivot zone, all right? I think that price would use this as, or already use this as area of liquidity, all right? The inducement from the buy side, buy side liquidity basically. All right. So from here, we have our supply zone somewhere around here. All right. So what I think would happen on Euro NZD, or what I think you should be looking for on Euro NZD, is a shift in market structure on the lower time frame. All right. So we want to see an SBR on the lower time frame, 1 hour, 4 hours, or an SBR with a sweep of the Asian range on the lower time frame, like the 5 minutes. But that's an advanced technique. I wouldn't recommend that you up into it because I mentioned it. All right, but It's just one of the tricks that we get to use, to just get slimmer entries that profit us a lot better. All right, and I believe you can see that there's an SBR pattern on the daily time frame here as well. Yeah, so that's it. So pray for me, pray for me. Yeah, so that's it. Some of you have not heard this song I just sang right now. Some of you have not heard it before. Pray for me. Please, if you have a newbie that is just, trying to learn to trade Forex and all, I recommend that song for them. Let them know that you have them in your prayers. All right. Because, starting Forex can be crazy. All right. I remember getting into Forex all those years back. You really didn't have a Nigerian mentor because all the Nigerians that were trading were not trading to make money, they were trading to lose money. All right. When you're so rich as a Nigerian, you just felt like, what can I do? I don't want to be a philanthropist. I don't want to be too popular. Let me just find a place to just put my money and not think about it again. All right. So it was really crazy because you trade, lose a lot of money, come back, get scolded at home for losing money you were supposed to pay for rent and all of that. But it was fun. All right. It's part of the things that, toughened us up. All right. So when you see a newbie who is coming into Forex and loves to trade gold, all right, you can recommend that song for them. Let them know that you have them in your thoughts, in your prayers. You're praying for them. You are wishing them all the best. All right. So Euro NZD, our expectation is bearish. All right. We're currently around the pivot zone and the supply zone. So we're waiting for a major shift. All right. I want to see a shift in structure or a break of structure. A shift in structure, sorry, on the lower time frames, which would signify that bearish move on that bearish movement is right. All right, you guys get it now. So that's the sentiment for Euro NZD. So we're going to take the very last commodity, which is USD JPY. Come on. Why did you just add NZD CHF out of the blue? All right, so NZD CHF is going to be the last commodity I'm going to talk about today. All right, because as you can see, I'm trying to have a lot of fun today. Today is a very happy day for me. Um, and trust me, it has nothing to do with the fact that the month is ending, and I cannot explain further for security reasons. But trust me, it has nothing to do with the fact that the month is about to end. But I'm just happy. Clap your hands if you feel like a room without a roof. Cause I'm happy. Clap your hands if you feel like happiness is in you. Woo! All right, let's see. We're at a pivot point. So, guys, just imagine this kind of voice, this kind of vocal, this kind of talent is what you people want me to. All right, so like I said, don't get disappointed. Don't say, oh, come on, who is that? Please just know, all right, I'm doing it to just have some fun, all right, and just do well, right? So, this is USD JPY. That's our pivot zone. Touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here. All right, so all of those touches tells us that that's a valid pivot zone. So we can go to the candlesticks. Okay, so this is the candlestick USD JPY. Let's say the 4 hours time frame. Interesting. Hmm. I said, please, oh, please, red roses too. I don't know the lyrics, but I'll sing all the same. And I said to myself, what a wonderful world. All right, so this is USD I don't know what's going on here because it seems like price already tested that demand zone inside of the pivot. So here is my recommendation. All right, lower time frame zoom in. This looks like an SBR pattern. Yep, so that looks like the sweep, the break, the retest. So for me, I think I would be looking out for an initial entry from this swing. All right. Yep. So my initial expectation would be here. All right. Possibly USD dropping into the 76%. And then we followed through with the bullish impulse. Does that make sense? So we have that sweep, the break, and then the return to the other block so that we can get the bounce. And then I think we can work with this trend line as our target. All right, so that we don't get too ambitious with our entries. All right, have this as your initial target, such that once price then breaks the trend line and comes for a retest of that trend line, maybe something like this, price breaks it. All right, then you can wait for the retest of the trend line and then the continuation of the bullish entry. All right, so that's if this happens. All right, but if it doesn't happen, then you definitely know that you shouldn't be looking for buy opportunities anymore. Okay, so that is USD and then the last commodity we're going to be looking at for today, which is NZD CHF. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So let's adjust this. Tell me why it's nothing but a day. No, that's not me singing for you guys. That's me singing for my specific condition, right? Okay, so this is NZDCHF. This looks like an interesting week. Hmm. Let's see what happened there. Still a week on the 4 hours. Is this still a week on the 1 hour time frame? Interesting. Avoid that week. Which means that if you're really going to be avoiding that week, let me see. Let me see. Okay, cool. All right, from the daily time frame, that would be the demand zone. But let's go to the 4 hours and then um, slim fit it a bit more. Right. You may not know what slim fitting means, all right, but just flow with it, all right, because you've never had to queue at Weibo market for a while. You've not had to go to a logo market. You've not had to go to some interesting market like Jankara, others, all right, Mile 12. So you may definitely not know what slim fit means, but yeah, just know that we're slim fitting this right now. It's part of the origins of songs like Bend Low, but you may not know, but you know it works. All right, so I'm seeing something interesting here. I'm seeing an SBR pattern quite clean. All right. Yes. Yes. So we had the sweep, we had the break, and then now I am waiting for the retest. So NZDCHF, we might see this and then this. Or at least that's what I expect. All right. You know, that decline into the completion of the SBR pattern. All right. Once the SBR pattern is completed, SBR is simply short for sweep, break, retest. All right. And it's the same thing that is called or referred to as QMR pattern by some people. All right. White Eagle FX, if it takes my stop loss, I would be glad. All right. I am not trading so that I can always be right. I am trading because I want to trade what I see and understand in the market. All right. That's all I care about. Okay. That's all I care about. What, like I said, if what you're seeing differs, please trade your sentiment. Trade along the lines of your analysis. All right. We don't have to agree before we disagree. Oh, sorry. We don't have to agree before we are profitable. All right. If your sentiment is right, please trade your sentiment. All right. You don't have to believe in me to make money like me. You get it? Super great. So I think that we've come to the end of, it's been an amazing session, I think, by all means. I think we've had some fun. I think we've, gone over the markets. I think, all in all, I think we've had some remarkable breakdowns, all right, some remarkable trade breakdowns. So it's at this point that I am saying thank you so much, guys, for joining me on another really, really amazing Monday Market Review session. It's been a pleasure hosting you guys, and I'm looking forward to our next session on Monday, the 29th of July. All right, so without further ado, I want to say my name remains Adetola Freeman. Of course, I will not bleach before our next session. See you again, and God bless you. Bye-bye.